Namaste. Welcome to Your Spiritual Revolution's live interview session. I am your host and editor of Your Spiritual Revolution magazine, Ravisha Parekh. Today we have with us Mr. Darryl D'Souza. Daryl De Souza went through 14 years of sickness and suffering that almost ended his life in 2004. However, his radical reversal from sickness to wellness within just 1 year of using integrated natural therapies is a story that has inspired thousands across the globe to lead a healthier life. His best selling book, Become Healthy or Extinct on Curing Chronic Illnesses with Natural Therapies, has been read in more than 200 countries. So let us take this opportunity and learn about his journey from sickness to wellness. Welcome to YSR's live interview, Daryl sir.
Thank you, Ravisha, and good afternoon to good evening to all your audiences. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me, to share about wellness and my journey also in that field.
Yes. So let me start from the very start. Since you are an engineer, what made you get into healing, and when did this switch happen from engineering to healing?
Yes, the seeds were in fact sowed right in the middle of my engineering days. And at that time, I used to live in Mumbai, and I left Mumbai to do engineering in Pune. So I was staying as a paying guest with another friend of mine from Mumbai, uh, who passed out with me from, this junior college. So
Okay.
every year, we like to change our place of residence, and so the first year in Pune, it was in a place called Karve Road, and then we went a little deeper into where it's green, a place called Navsayadri. And in the second year, we opted to get a place that was never rented out before, you see. And so because the rent was cheaper, and well, it was cheaper because there was no furniture. So basically, yeah. And we thought that we would send, because our parents used to give us every month a certain amount of money for the rent and for food and all of that. So we thought we'll save on some of that, and we took a cheaper rented place. So the result was that there was no furniture, and I thought that I can sleep on the floor. We just put some corduroy curtains on the floor, and I had this sleeping bag that my aunt gave me from USA. And you see, I had never gone trekking in the forest, so I said it's a good time to make use of this. So with a couple of corduroy bed sheets on the floor, and I used to zip myself at night, into the sleeping bag. I, of course, you would feel cold at that time in Pune during that winter of Pune. It was 1990. The temperature went down to 6 degrees. Normally, Pune it goes down to about 8. But that year was especially cold because we remember when we used to get up to brush our teeth in the morning, we couldn't do it because of the cold water. Then we had to wait for 2 hours for the temperature to come up. So uh, so I took out 4 months like that on the floor. And my room partner, he had a relative in Goa, and from them he got some mattress which had a little bit nibbled up by some maybe some rats or something, but there were a couple of holes. He covered it up, and he was using that. So he was well insulated with this 8-inch mattress. Well, result was that I got very bad cold, pneumonia, because the chill got into my body and into my lungs. And it got so bad that I was coughing blood and I could not breathe. And the doctor had to come in the night, and he saw my condition and told my mother, this boy is not going to make it till the next morning. So he went back to his hospital. He got some steroid injections. He, injected me and my side, and then of course medication, allopathic medication for allopathy. I think it was for about 20 days I was taking some medicines, and I survived. So that was the first time I say that my immunity in my body came down. So it was something wrong that I did for a long time that caused this. Otherwise, till that time, I had never experienced sickness. So I tell people, if you are having sickness of any form, it's a sign that you are doing something very wrong to your body that you may think is right, but it is not in alignment with natural law and the natural functioning of the human body. So, so that was my first instance. Then after that, we finished engineering, and we started working. We were about 6 of us in a group. Some of them were staying in Pune, some in Bombay. Uh, After 1 year of work, we decided to have a reunion, and the reunion we had come down to Goa on bikes. We came down to Goa, spent a week at my ancestral home in Goa that was empty at the time. And I took them to all my favorite places in my childhood that I used to come to visit Goa every summer vacation with my family. And there was one place which was a natural spring deep in the hills. So I took them there. And that time it was the rainy season, you see. And all my life earlier, I would land up there only in the summertime because we used to go down to Goa during summer vacation. And uh, so with the rains, I didn't realize it was a nice, like a mountainside with a big black cave and a deep hole in it from which the water used to come out. And people had done it up very nicely. Laterite stones, there was a place where the overflow you could bathe, and that bathing water would go further down into another tank. And even in that tank, there were fish and frogs and small snakes. And then it would go down to the side of the mountain. So it was a maintained place. So I thought to drink that water because I used to drink that mineral water every year from the first flow, you see. And nobody would touch it because they said we don't drink, we don't do this. You don't come to the jungle and drink flowing water. So just to show them that you guys are stupid and this is mineral water and it costs so much and so much in a bottle in USA right now. So I think that time it was whether it was $50 or something like that. So I said you're getting it here for free. So to show off, I filled like 2 bottles of water and I kept drinking that water for 2 days. I didn't realize mountain water also comes into it because of the rains, and that water has got the urine and the mixture of the feces of wild boar, foxes, rats, pythons, snakes, all of that. So I didn't know, but that water had got amoeba, like bacteria in it, and over after 2 days of drinking that water, I started getting a fever and loose motions. And then I went to the doctor. It was diagnosed as amoebic dysentery. So that was the infection, and he gave me allopathic medicines, and it came down. And then I recovered at that time. But after that vacation, we all went back to our work. I was a project engineer working in different sites across India. So I used to travel and to go to remote places. Sometimes eat at dhabas, drink, tap water, very spicy food, oily food, and all of that. So the inflammation in my gut system continued, and I kept on getting the reoccurrence of these loose motions and amoebic dysentery. It continued to sometimes blood in my stools. I had anal fissures, and I kept on taking, antibiotics whenever I had this. So I didn't understand that time antibiotics, they really kill your good gut bacteria over the long term, and your gut microbiome gets very disturbed. And so then there were certain overgrowths of other kind of fungi and yeast in my body, and from the toxins, as you eat food, every organism eats the food and then excrete something which are toxins. Some of them, certain bacteria, if they go high in your body, then the excretions are not healthy for you. But that remains in our gut. It gets absorbed in our intestines, goes into our bloodstream, and then your blood has got toxins. And those toxins come out on your skin, you see, as certain points where you sweat more, as like joints or your arm or between your fingers. So I started getting skin allergies over a few years. And my amoebic dysentery, which is mainly in the small intestine, it went down to my colon, the large intestine also. And I was diagnosed as a chronic person of amoebic colitis. Then started first degree piles, which is at the end of the anus blisters. First degree are temporary. Second degree, you have to use creams and lotions and hot water fermentation, cold water. Went through that. and it went to third degree. Third degree are permanent blisters on the anus, and they cannot be reversed. And if it bursts anytime when you're sitting, you will have to continuously bleed, and you have to go to the operation theater. So my digestive system had reached that stage where I had to have an operation for this. So basically, it's an indication of how bad a person's intestines and colon is inflamed and completely damaged and destroyed. So I had all of this happening to me, skin allergies all over my body. I used to take allopathic suppressant medications. And by that, they used to make me very drowsy. I could not work. I used to sleep on my office desk. So I had to give up work also. Finally, it got so bad, the skin allergies, I used to take those medicines twice a day. And because I could not eat food, even eating and biting food, my gums would be severely itching. I could not wear footwear, and then I couldn't even wear clothes. Like, you wouldn't see me sitting like this. I would be just, every time kind of scratching here, scratching there. I didn't want clothes on my body. So my life came to that point where even eating food was a problem, wearing clothes was a problem, going out, and I'd already given up work because I couldn't do it. Only comfortable place was me sitting in Bermuda shorts on my bed, a nice 8-inch mattress. And at that point, I said, this is, and actually 14 years had gone by then. And after allopathy, I had tried Ayurveda for 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. Then I tried homeopathy for 2 years. When that didn't work, then I went to healers and, a lot of prayers and all that. That didn't work. So I was at a point in my life where I said, everything in the world that I know should cure you, it doesn't work. And I don't want to live this life because every day is a problem for me. And I almost decided that I would end my life then. But my next door neighbor, they saw me sitting in the house doing nothing, and they said, how come you're not, otherwise you are such an active person. I said, yeah, I'm very sick and this is my condition. So they told me to meet one man who is a retired textile engineer. And he said he will do something that will purify your blood. And there is something that is called acupressure. If you press points on your hand and in your body, it will heal your organs. So I thought like I was a great scientist, being an engineer, I said, this is impossible. It's quite rubbish that pressing points can, send some energy into your organs to heal you. But I wanted to live, see. So I went and met that man, and he taught me certain things from a couple of books from a person who taught him, Dr. Devendra Vora, and that is Health in Your Hands. He had written many books, but two of them were Health in Your Hands, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So he gave me certain instructions and told me to do those things, and I went home and I started doing them. And I couldn't believe within 3 or 4 days, I was not feeling that allergy or itchiness at night. So I didn't take my night medication. And I just said, oh, is something happening? Then I continued with it. And in another 3, 4 days, I didn't need my morning medication and my evening medication. The next morning, I needed it again. So I continued, and my dosage started reducing. Then one tablet in once a day, then once alternate day, once in 3 days, once in a week. That's how my medication actually started. First, it started with once in 15 days. Then it became once a week. So in a 6 month period of time, I was rid of this medication completely. My allergies completely gone. Okay, and my digestion also started improving a bit. Though at that time I did not know much details about food because details of nutrition were not given in that book. But acupressure, herbal detoxes, cleanses, and urine therapy and all of that was there. So I got so shocked that I said that all the modern medicine systems, popular ones, they are not working, and this is a miracle. You see. So I started. I went back to him and said, teach me all of this very in depth, so I can treat others also. I can help others who are in such a condition. And so the book was teaching. I went and was sat for classes, 3 hours, 2 hours classes. It went on for 6 months, and then I learned all of it. Volume 1, which was regular diseases, and Volume 2, which is serious illnesses like cancer, muscular dystrophy, brain problems, spinal cord problems. So I went through that training, and then I started treating my friends and neighbors, family people, and this started in 2005. Uh, then I went back to work, to my engineering work, full time, and I used to treat people on Saturday, Sundays. So this went on for about 5 years, and I noticed a trend. As long as people would do the acupressure and do the cleanses, right, the herbal cleanses, then they would be fine. Somebody's BP would come down from 180 to 110 and all of that. And then they would say, I've been doing this for 15 days, a month or 2 months. Now I'm cured. Shall I stop it? And for me, I said, yeah, you're cured. That means you don't need to do this for the rest of your life. So they would stop it. But then after 1 month, 1.5 months, the person would say, oh, my BP has come back. Again, it's, 125, 130. It's not gone to 180, but it's come back to 125. And so I would see similar cases with people with weight is lost, 8 kilos are gone, but 2 kilos are come back. Somebody's migraine would be like for one day, it was gone, but now, 3 hours of headache, migraine is coming back. Then I started analyzing all these cases, and I said that you were cured at one point of time. Now I know the human body is not designed to fall sick on its own. I said you are doing something to make it sick again, right? And I had covered all of these things, certain habits, exercise, also the logical things I covered. But then I realized there was only one route, which is the route of what they put in their mouth, food. And then I realized how the wrong kind of food can bring your illnesses back. So then I started saying some things that food can also make you sick and food can heal you. So, Hippocrates said that, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. So then I started researching more on nutrition and looking very deep, laws of nature, human body function, digestive system. And so that it was about 2 years research from 2005 to 2007. Then when I started treating people with an integrated system along with diet and nutrition, then those patients wouldn't come back at all. They would be permanently cured. So I worked on that model, integrated model, I started calling it acupressure, diet and nutrition, exercises and organ detoxes, herbal organ detoxes. And with that experience, I wrote my book, Become Healthy or Extinct, in 2011. And I put it on my website as a free download. So people started downloading it, reading it. Whoever benefited, they shared with others. It's a book in English. So I kept on seeing, month after month across the years that it's going in almost all the countries wherever English is there. You see, so I was getting reply from people in China, because there are people who read, English in China and other countries too. So that is how I got into not only using therapies but also teaching. And then in 2011, I came back to Goa permanently. I stayed in my ancestral home, wrote the book, and then in 2012 I started going around the country to different metro cities doing this workshop, reversing chronic illnesses with integrative natural therapies. Um, so that's how I got completely into the wellness industry. And at that time I also was contacted by the World United, Dr. Ugandar in Hyderabad, and they were doing a movement called the new NADA, New Age Doctors Association, and they were merging the best of especially in the modern medicine but diagnostics, merging that, making an integrated system along with alternative therapy, complementary medicine, and the ancient healing sciences. So I was asked whether I would be part of the movement, and I joined that movement, and brought my sciences also into it. And that's the first time that I spoke at the first World Parliament on Spirituality, which the World United had organized. And after that, there were about 14 wings of that organization made. And I was asked whether I would be the secretary of the wellness wing, which was called the World United Doctors and Healers Association. So that's when I got to interact and work with other mind, body, spirit healers you know, beyond natural physical remedies, energy medicine, psychology, and, shamanic medicine, and kind of psychic healing and crystals and all of that. So I have been interacting with all of these mind, body, spirit medicine modalities and their teachers in India, some overseas. And through that, when I was with the World United, I was the convener of the continued medico spiritual education conferences. Um, and yes, so that is my journey into wellness. And
Right.
uh, yeah, I still continue with that work as well now also.
Yeah. So, what work are you involved in nowadays? Like, what is exactly you do nowadays?
Yes, nowadays, actually in 2015, you see, I became an organic farmer, and I was compelled to because since I went public in 2012, I was always teaching about people about what is healthy nutrition and that organic food, local and seasonal food, that is the healthiest food for you. So when I started doing my workshops here in Goa, people were saying, where do you get organic food? You're talking so much about it. Even the villagers over here, they say things are gouty, but you go and see in their field, they put urea in the soil. So they said that, so then I realized there's a problem and maybe I should get into it, inspire other people. So I became an organic farmer in 2015.
Wow.
Around my house itself, there is about 200 square meters, which, city-based people, we all know things in square feet. So it's about 2,000 square feet. Like it's a big, like four-bedroom house, you can say. Uh, so still now, I grow about 25 types of fruits and vegetables in this space. Every day, 4 5 things come from the garden. They get cooked, and then on my ancestral plot, which is also about 7,000 square feet, I started growing things there also. Then at a center, the Rejuvenation Center, we made a greenhouse, started growing there. Then in between, I took up a place where an uncle's farm was, laborers had left and all. So I created a community farm where all of my friends who wanted to learn from me, I said, I will teach you the farm. You come to that plot, you do the work over there, right? And there will be free soil, free teaching, free water, free sprinkler system, everything. You just have to put your 2 hours every day or 3 hours, and you can take away 50% of what's there. 50% you have to leave for this uncle. We will sell it on the organic markets, and that's when I started. This I Goa's first organic market in 2015 called the 𝐷𝐻𝐾eepers Market. That's what we were working with. And we would sell those vegetables on the market along with some excess from my house. Then I started collaborating with friends who learned, and there were small organic farmers here. And we started that, making organic farming more popular and, advertising it so people could come and get organic food. So that's how I got into organic farming. And within 2 3 years, I realized there are some problems there with regards to water level. That you should not use tap water for growing organic vegetables because it's got chlorine. It has no living bacteria in it. So then we need well water, and if the well water is going down, then you need rainwater harvesting, and then you need to work with the soil, and you need to work with sunlight and shading and the pollution in the air that's blocking it. So then I had to get into environmental issues as well to safeguard and make organic farming healthy. Um, so met with a lot of people, and then the movement went into, I realized there are so many problems in all of this, and I curated, and convened the New Earth Summit, which is India's first integrated summit for solutions to our problems in health, food, farming, and environment. And health was mind, body, spirit, wellness. And when I opened, the summit in 2019, the first summit as the convener in my introductory speech, which is there online, Anybody can watch it and also watch all the videos of the summit at
Okay.
newearthsummit.com. Uh, at the opening, I said that healing is not only within your home and with your own physical body and with your mind space and what you can do there. Healing also depends on all the things that you take from the environment on the planet. If you're not going to get enough good quality sunlight, if you're not going to get water that's actual healthy water, if you're not going to get enough open space for your energy body or your chakras to expand. So all the external elements also are very responsible for your own health as a person, as a family, and as society. So then I said that we have to heal the entire system. We have to heal all of these aspects on the planet, and only then we can, be completely healed. So,
Right.
and so from in that speech, I said I'll never do just wellness event again. If it's wellness, it's planetary, complete. It's an ecosystem that we have to work with. And we got some of the experts. The first year were mostly speakers from Goa. So it was 10 topics. We had a physical convention. On the first
Okay.
day, we had 10 topics on wellness of mind, body, spirit. Then next day, 10 topics on food and farming. And third day, 10 topics on environment, which means natural homes also, rainwater harvesting, many other aspects of, natural living.
Mhm.
um, and then that was 2019. Then in 2020, because you see corona was there and lockdown was there, so we
Mhm.
did the online summit right from 1st October to 30th October. So 30 sessions every day. Okay. And we had each session was four speakers, experts. The first hour was between four panelists and presenting the solutions, debating about it. And the next hour was for the Q&A for the audience. And we said that these recordings we will share in the public domain, and we have been doing that since, for people to be aware, of what are the problems that are there and what are their solutions. And all of the speakers had already implemented these solutions at their own locations or at a small business. We wanted to take them to a larger audience, and so we very carefully chose all our speakers depending on the work and how integrated, natural, and green their projects were. So that's the effort now of the New Earth Summit. It will happen this year too, online, probably in November, and
Okay.
we are on that constant movement of fixing all these problems: health, food, farming, environment, showcasing for the public. Because unless public participates, you see, you can have people willing to sell an idea and a product and a service, but if the public is not aware, then there are no buyers and
Right.
it doesn't work. So our main thing is how to create demand more than supply. Then because when you create demand more than supply, you create jobs. That means if public want more and there are not enough implementers, then they will train others to do this good work. Uh, so that's the current scenario where I'm now. I participate in different events. I speak at different events that are all on these things. I promote people and projects in this area. I still
That's
continue
beautiful.
sometimes, yeah, with wellness and patients. I do see my old patients and some very
Okay.
new ones, but very less because I don't have that much time since I'm involved in other projects. But that's, yeah, where I'm involved in now.
That's great. So you told us that you have been involved in mind, body, and spirit healing. So how has your experience been with mind, body, and spirit healing programs in India?
Yes, even in the CMSE conferences, the continued medico spiritual education conferences, I used to travel all of these cities and have meetings with people who had learned from my workshops. So some of my clients and patients, then colleagues also who were working in the same industry. And I did that for 5 years, from 2013 to 2017, promoting integrative natural medicine. And every time I would go to a city, I would kind of do my workshop on a Sunday, full day. And then Saturday evening, I would do a meeting of this, doctors, healers, therapists. And promoting this the World United platform to do this. Um, and I saw that people, even in the conferences, not only in the meetings, even in the conferences, uh, every therapist or doctor, healer, they wanted to, sell or kind of or teach their modality the strongest. Okay, and for example, a yoga teacher would say that yoga can cure diabetes and all of that, or they would say that with yoga your diabetes will remain in check, and you don't need anything else. Then a healer would say, healer energy healing can heal your diabetes. Uh, but and then somebody would say, like, diet and nutrition will heal diabetes. So I could see that whenever they got a chance to work on a platform, on a program, they would mostly look at their modality as the solution, and not look at that there are other components also which are necessary for a complete solution.
Right.
So yeah, so I used to talk about these things, and few people would understand. And then I finally said that, unless for example, if there is an acupressurist, right? They will appreciate other acupressurists and other acupuncturists because they know the science. But
Right.
the moment there's somebody like an energy healer or somebody who's doing crystal healing sitting in front of them, right? They don't know anything about it. And if the person says through crystals, we can activate the crystals to heal your kidneys and all, they will say, that's really weird. They don't give them importance. They don't want to sit and work with them together.
Right.
And so it's only, then I used to tell them, it's only when you will sit for a lecture of crystal healing and you understand it, spend at least 3 4 hours, listen to the testimonies of clients who got healed with crystal healing or energy healing, reiki or pranic healing, and then you will understand, then you will respect somebody else. Then you will be okay to work on a client uh, who has got kidney problems, and you will say, okay, here are the kidney points, acupressure. And when the energy healer says you come for 3 sessions of half an hour to get energy healing, they will say yes to that also. You see? So integrative medicine, and especially working in a clinic or in a wellness center, it is very important that therapists, they cross train each other. That means that if therapist knows the modality and the science of which their co-therapists are working with, then it becomes very easy to work on one client with integrative modalities. And I've seen my own experience, when you do it in an integrated way, healing happens within 1 2 months, 3 months maximum, of even complicated cases. You see, because all the mind, body, spirit aspects are not only diagnosed, but the treatments are also given in that domain. So it requires a person sitting at a clinic with 2 3 therapists in front of them who take in all this information. Then the therapists have another session in detail where they work out the solution. And then they call the client back again. Here's your program. So from day one, day two, day three, day 15, this will be your diet, this will be your exercise, this will be your meditation, this will be a herbal tea that you will have, right? And this is how you can interact and report back to us. So this is what I understood, because in India, at least at least my exposure to the New Age Doctors Association, I knew that they had started in 2017, right? And we see that still it's not so easy for people to work in an integrated way. 2 3 friends, they get together, like a psychologist may work with a medical doctor, and in a clinic, they will get together. But you will rarely find clinics where there are 5 6 modalities where people agree to work together.
Yeah.
So people want to do it, but this is the biggest advice I have for them, that you have to get cross trained with all your other therapists, and have respect for them, give them their due in the healing process with your clients, and that is what integrative medicine is actually about.
Right. So nowadays, everyone is too distracted by, say, work or education or one or the other problems in their lives, and it all, with the stress, I believe, takes a toll on our health. So, what would you say to people to, encourage them to take more responsibility for their wellness?
Yes. So now people look at, actually, what are their options first. Because in this such a fast, paced world, everybody says I have no time.
Right.
So if I have a headache, ना option बताओ क्या है, 5 मिनट में क्या कर सकते हैं ये वो. So of course, many people who have wisened up, like me, after going through the long route of using these allopathic pills that do not cure your illness, but they only suppress your symptoms. And for example, my next door neighbor in front of my house, in the other plot, his brother just used to get headaches. Okay, once a week, then twice a week. He started with Saradon, then he went on to something more and something more, and he did that for about 7 years. And I checked his other dietary habits, just like his other brother, eating rice, fish curry, fried fish, vegetables, and all of that. Same diet. Okay, but this guy, both of his kidneys failed, and he was put on dialysis. So what happened is all of a sudden these medications, especially for headaches and high BP, they do affect the kidneys. You see. So now only when a person has suffered all of that, they know that no, I don't want to take these pills, right? It's a learning journey, and then people come to the thing. Okay, then what are my other natural options of healing, right? Uh, Now people try to compare the time, but that is wrong. If you got a headache and you take a pill and a headache goes within 15 minutes, the fact is you're not cured of the headache,
Right.
right? You're going to take that every time you get the headache. Now people compare that fact 15 minutes. चलो मेडिसिन नहीं लेना है तो 15 मिनट में बोलो क्या करना है कि I will get my headache off, right? So I've taught people a meditation. It's a visualization. You just sit in one place and you just visualize certain things in a certain way, and your headache can go in 10 minutes. And if you want to use physical thing, then you can use, for example, breathing through your left nostril, just keeping your, now the mirror image is there, so people will see it opposite.
Yeah.
But if you close your right nostril and breathe from your left nostril, it's the moon cycle, it's the cooling cycle. And just sitting for 5 minutes, close your eyes and nice space breathing like that, your headache could come down. So there are, different things that can be done. But what is the root cause of that headache? It could be acidity, too much of heat within the body. It could be weakness in your liver. Okay. It could be the acidic foods that you are eating. So if you want to cure it permanently, you have to go to the root cause and cure these things. So that is what people need to understand, that you are not only fixing the headache is a symptom. Something is already wrong with your digestive system and your heat balance in your body, and something is wrong with your liver, right? So I've understood that. That's why I wrote this book, where most, about up to 60% of my book is explaining how you got the problem, right? Because then it becomes understandable for people that to accept the solution, right? Because otherwise people want what? They say that I got a problem, now tell me in 5 minutes what is my solution. So people are looking for opinions. They're not looking for knowledge. They're not looking for understanding. This is what they think because I have no time, right? But you better make time now, because you may have a liver problem later, which will cause you a bill of 3, 4, 5, 6 lakhs, right? That's a later story. They don't know. People want to be optimistic all the time. It's good to be optimistic, but not negligent. So when you know there is a problem. So I think it's that people, a lot of us who know causes of illnesses and their natural remedies need to keep sharing it in society. And those people who have gone through certain journeys where they know that these pills are not going to fix them, they will take up these natural remedies. And in my journey, I've found it as a very interesting scientific, learning phase of my life, where I understood the functioning of the human body, what causes sickness, and that so many of these so-called autoimmune diseases are not autoimmune diseases. They are rightful autoimmune responses from your body that is trying to maintain homeostasis. Homeostasis means balancing mechanism. Okay, for example, body temperature is a balancing mechanism. Your blood pH is a balancing mechanism. If you have too much of alcohol, eat too much of meat, or eat too much of grains, you're putting a lot of acidic food in your body, and even too much of animal's milk, very highly acidic. So your blood will become acidic. Then once your blood becomes acidic, it is alkaline. Blood is actually it balances somewhere between 7.35 to 7.45 pH. But when drops below that, then the blood usually when the composition of blood changes, that means the quality of the blood that's going to your brain, to your bones, to your heart, everything, to your eyes, it is changed. So the body will not allow that. So what it does is blood has the complete knowledge of everything that exists in your body. In fact, it has this knowledge because it has made everything that is there in your body.
Right.
Right? If we just go to the time of our birth, when we were being breastfed by our mother, right? The milk, we took in the milk, and from that milk has got all the 5 elements. It's got earth, water, fire, air, space in different proportions. But it takes the magnesium and the calcium and it puts it in our bones. So that's the earth element. Then most of the liquid will remain in our blood, our cerebrospinal fluid, our lymphatic fluid, the vitreous humor in our eyes, right? So it distributes the elements. So blood has manufactured the whole body, and blood knows where everything is. And if it's in a need for anything, it knows how to take out those things back. So when the blood becomes acidic, and there's a danger of toxic blood supply to all your organs, and the organism at an overall level, it will fail. That means you'll start losing memory power. You'll have lesser stamina. Your digestion will weaken if your liver does not get that right quality of blood. So the blood is so intelligent, it will not allow that. So it goes into the bones and it takes out calcium and magnesium because they're highly alkaline, and it will mix it with the blood. So if blood pH was dropping from 7.35 to 7.3 and 2, blood will bring it back to 7.3. But taking out this calcium from the bones gives you arthritis and osteoporosis and all of that. So if we get arthritis over a period of 2-3 years, right? It is because the blood did not take out that calcium. You would have died probably in 6 months from toxic imbalance blood going to all your organs and eyesight going down or heart skipping a beat and like that. So this is what people have to understand, and so this is where I'm saying, even as an engineer, I figured out that the entire intricate workings of the human body has, if you understand it completely, it's got more science than even making a rocket and sending it to Jupiter and doing whatever and bring things back from there. Right? There's more science. So I'm saying this for anybody who's interested in there's an intellectual pursuit or very scientific in nature. Get into understanding the functioning of the human body. It's the most complex organism on this planet that has survived for thousands of years. Sickness is not its nature. Its first reflex action is fixing itself for longer life. And if you have any sickness whatsoever in your body, the question that you should be asking is, what are the things that I am doing to become sick? And all of those things are listed in my book, Become Healthy or Extinct. It's on my website with the same domain name, .com.
So what do you think the future of the wellness industry in India is?
I had, done actually 3 webinars on it. And the first one was I spoke for 3 hours at a conference in Baroda. That was 3 years back. And the topic that I spoke on was the decentralized medicine system of the future. Now, over there, I just explained one simple thing for any of the viewers who want to get the details of it. They can go to the New Earth Summit or my YouTube channel. It's there on both places. What I explained is that the current scenario, because I went into rural India and I was seeing people with diabetes and with arthritis and with cataract and glaucoma and this digestive disorders. And I just realized that even though they have natural food, natural water, and all, they have taken on the new diets from the world. That means all these grocery stores and shops and supermarkets in their small farms have reached the villages also. So they're eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of unhealthy foods, and they're getting sick. So what is the cycle? That even people who live in good environments, they are eating the wrong kind of foods, they are getting sick. And many of them are, poor people, farmers or villagers doing some small business and all of that. When they get sick, then they first go on allopathic medicines because it is cheap. Then after 3-4 years, they get worse. Then you will see them collecting money to come into the city to meet some experts, get admitted in some hospital, and later they'll be for some operation, right? Now, when they come to the city is a place that is not got a lot of congestion, a lot of stress, a lot of pollution, there's a lot of money payment, right? And you're not going for a cure, you're going to get your operation. The operation is not a cure. It is once you have failed all cures, you're trying to take out your appendix or take out your gallbladder, all of that. Yeah, or take out the ovaries, do a hysterectomy. So so that was what I explained that the city and all of these places are anyway not a place of healing. The actual healing place is the village. So the thing is that we have to go to the village. You see, even when city people like us also, when we get a weekend free, like if Friday is off, then where do people from Bombay and all want to go? They want to go to Lonavala. They want to go to other places for the weekend, right? So we are so stressed with that city and the air and the pollution and the stress and the all of that. We want to go in nature. So nature with the good water, greenery, good air, more sunlight, open spaces, no congestion. That's the place for healing. So when I say decentralized medicine system, it means that in our villages we have to set up integrative natural wellness centers that also become centers of education. This is how I've been running my own house. The room that I'm sitting in, is the hall of my ancestral home. It can take about 25 people sitting, along with a table with me presenting, projector screen, and all of that. Over here, I started with teaching the healthcare sciences. Then I started teaching environment. Then I got my friends to give in lectures on rainwater harvesting, natural home building, and all of that. And this was my first center. Then I got a bigger center later. Somebody offered me land and a place to do it because I was doing this good work. So this is what we can do in villages also. That I think villages should have integrative natural medicine centers, which should be education centers also, where people learn everything. Now I've got a project in Goa that's called, it's a part, the next steps of the New Earth Summit. Because in New Earth Summit, we are trying to showcase what organic, eco-friendly, local, self-sustained economy is. So according to that, we are doing a eco village in Goa. We are trying to looking at a couple of lands at about 500 acres. And there we are trying to set up all these natural systems. So in the field of medicine, what I say is that set up these integrative natural wellness centers in nature, in the villages, let them be education centers, and then build up capacity for people to stay there to get educated. So first of all, you can take care of the local people first, you know, like you have hotels of different stars. You can have some of them that are taking care of local people, but then some that are the next, 2-star or 3-star. And it can also be a wellness tourism model. So I had proposed that to the Goa Tourism Development Corporation in 2016. So that is, and it's the thing that will create local employment also. You can train all of these natural modalities, acupressure, yoga, all of these trainings can be given to people within 6 months, you see, and then they can start. practicing under the guidance of seniors. So it creates local economy, local jobs, and people from the city would love to leave the city, go there for a vacation, for a healing vacation of 1 week, 15 days, to reverse their illnesses. And so this is what I look as the future of medicine, that health must go to the people. Poor people
Right.
must not come and spend all their money, all their savings, and come to the city to get their organs amputated. You see, so
That's yeah. Thank you so much for being with us, Daryl sir, and sharing your story and inspiring so many of us to take charge of our health in our hands. And thank you so much to all the viewers for viewing this live interview with your spiritual revolution. And I would like to conclude with this. Thank you so much, sir.
yeah, thank you. You're most welcome to Ravisha, and happy to be on your Spiritual Revolution platform. And my love and blessings to all your viewers. Wishing them all the best in their health. So, for your own health, you have to take action on yourself. Work on things that have been proven to cure others. And from what I have been doing over the last 15 years, I'm very clear that healing is a simple art, but it's a systematic thing that you have to do if you
Right.
get the right kind of knowledge from people who have done it. Okay, so that's the formula. Bye and God
Thank you
bless.
so much. Thank you.
Welcome.